The morning my daughter looked a social worker dead in the eye and said my son had been touching her wrong, she was 9 years old, and she'd spent 3 weeks rehearsing it in the bathroom mirror because she wanted his bedroom for herself. The day my nephew Eli came to live with us, he was 10 and carried everything he owned in a duffel bag with a broken zipper. He set a small cracked snow globe on my kitchen counter like it was treasure. "This is winter," he told me, dead serious. She doesn't say much, but she's seen the whole world. Eli named everything. The squeaky front gate was Sir Reginald. His bike was Bartholomew. When I asked what he wanted to be one day, he didn't hesitate. A pilot. He said it like the cockpit was already saving him a seat, like he just had to grow tall enough to reach the controls. He'd stand in the backyard with his arms out, narrating, "This is your captain speaking, mild turbulence ahead." His parents, my brother and his wife, had died in a crash when Eli was small, and there was no one else. I'd been told for years I couldn't have children, so I'd never expected to raise one. Eli became my entire world. Then, against every odd, I got pregnant at 37. I made the clinic test me 3 times before I believed it. A girl. Eli saw the ultrasound on the fridge before I could find the words. That night, he sat on the edge of his bed and asked, so quietly I almost missed it, "Am I still gonna be your kid?" I knelt and held his face in both hands. Always. Nothing changes that, ever. The day Mara was born, Eli asked to hold her. He looked down at her a long time and whispered, "She looks like an angry little raisin." Then he grinned. I love her, and he meant it. For years, he was the best big brother I could have dreamed up. Voices for her stuffed animals, sharing his snacks, teaching her to say Bartholomew before she could say my name. On her 3rd birthday, he made her a card that read, "You are slightly less of a raisin now." Then Mara turned 5, and something underneath her went cold. She smashed a framed photo one afternoon while I was in the next room. I came running, and she looked me dead in the eye and pointed up the stairs. Eli threw it. Eli was outside mowing the lawn. Had been for an hour. When I gently told her I knew the truth, she just shrugged. Nothing in her face. No guilt, no fear, nothing at all. I told myself it was a phase. Then she told her kindergarten teacher I left her home alone at night. She told a neighbor that Eli had pushed her down the stairs and showed a bruise she'd drawn on with a marker. I had time-stamped photos proving Eli was at his after-school program, and people still started looking at me sideways at pickup. She was 6, and I was already afraid of a child in my own house. The counselor called it boundary testing. By the time Eli was 14, 6'1" and gentle as anything, he'd stopped going near her. He kept his door shut. One night he came to me, staring at his shaking hands. Mara told her friend I drowned her fish. We didn't own a fish. Before I could speak, he whispered, "She said if I tell you about the lies, she'll say I touched her. She said everyone believes little girls over big boys. She said I'll go to prison." He was crying. I don't want to go to prison. I promised I would protect him. I swore it. 2 months later, a caseworker and an officer stood on my porch. An accusation of inappropriate contact. She described things consistent with her account. My stomach hit the floor. They spoke to Mara alone. She came out with real-looking tears and pointed at his room. They searched it for an hour and found nothing. The caseworker still said, "We have to remove him pending the investigation." He grabbed my sleeve. "Please, I didn't do anything." His palm pressed flat against the cruiser window the whole way down the drive. I turned around. Mara was on the couch with a juice box and her tablet. She met my eyes and smiled. A 6-year-old's word against a teenager's was enough. Eli was placed in a facility. The day it was finalized, I began returning Mara to the state. When they came, she didn't cry. She picked up her tablet and walked out. I visited Eli last week. He doesn't talk about flying anymore. "They don't let people like me near planes," he said.